right, and then we moved on to a bit more championship matches.
At one point, I thought this pay-per-view was called Line of Champions, but anyway, that took us into Rhea Ripley's replacement, Carmella, facing the Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair, for the aforementioned Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah, well, Carmella, of course, last-minute inclusion because Rhea Ripley's injured, but all signs indicate she'll be back for SummerSlam, so I think you'll probably see Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. So I guess it was no surprise Bianca was going to retain. But I didn't think it was a bad match. I think Carmella is probably a little underestimated. If you think of her history there when she came out and she was that New York girl, the loudmouth New York artist thing, and then through the progression through her career, she's actually she's improved a lot. Like she's pretty good. And I must say, Corey Graves is an exceptionally lucky man.
He is.
Talk about batting out of your weight division.
Definitely, for Corey Graves especially. Carmella, for me, she's never had it. She's never, at any time, she's what can I say? She's one of these, she's a sports model. That's what she is. She's not, for me, doesn't move like a pro wrestler, doesn't look like a pro wrestler in the ring. I mean, I'm glad that she's done very well for herself at WWE, and I'm glad for all that. She's held the belt, I think, twice too, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's been the tag team champ. She's held the SmackDown one twice, I think. Yeah.
But if you look at it, is it on her ability or looks? It's on looks. It's not on ability.
Yeah, but I mean, when they had the Divas division, as they called it, that was
terrible for me.
That was the same sort of thing again.
That was the worst thing that ever happened.
All tits and bum and everything.
Yeah, that was the worst thing that ever happened to female. For women wrestling that wanted to be, treated with respect and wanted to be considered to be sports people.
But it was either that or nothing.
That's right.
If they didn't do that, they just didn't. They wouldn't have got on.
And the other thing is you're looking at too is if you look at that, remember that space in time, the best wrestling for female wrestlers was TNA. If you watch TNA wrestling at that time, they were the best female wrestlers going around, because it wasn't all about the looks. And the problem with Carmella, great worker, does her best, but she's no Bianca Belair as far as being athletic. The end of this match was strange when Carmella attacked her and put a real aggressive heel point at the end of the night, right? Mm-hmm. Where do you see that going from there?
Look, well, she came out again on Raw today, and that's how the tag match went, where they had Natalya and Carmella against Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan. But I don't really see it going anywhere, to be honest.
Are they desperate for female talent?
Well, I mean, look, they've still got plenty of talent, female-wise.
I mean, because really, Carmella, I would not have put her in that position if I was booking. Not that I don't like her, but to go against Bianca Belair, would she definitely be at the moment, at this point in time, out of both female champions, the most dominant one, the most physical, two current champions.
But I don't rate Bianca highly. I don't know. There's something about her. I can't warm to her.
She's a bit green still, but athletically,
green. But there's one thing. There's one thing when you're doing promotions and all that to put yourself over and whatever. Yeah. But is she just too over the top with that? I mean, she's a face, but she's almost like a heel when she puts herself over or her self-promotion or...
I can see that when she jumps up on the ropes and smacks her ass and that kind of thing, kisses. I can see what you're saying there. Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
I can't. She's like a little bit too brash, a bit too over the top.
Yeah, but that's the younger generation too now.
Yeah, well, that's true.
That's the younger generation. All the kids are like that nowadays. Brash and it's my time and all this stuff.
And you got to grab it, and you got to be a bit different. I get all of that, and athleticism wise, absolutely an 11 out of 10. But I don't know. I just can't warm to her. I can't. I really sort of can't get into her character, or I don't know what it is.
You got a point. You got a point.
I just cannot.
If you had, let's say there was a Trish Stratus was still there.
Aye.
Right. You've got Charlotte. If there was, I think that, and we'll go back to Carmella too, at this point too. I think it's a fact, not because they're getting booked over other people. I just don't think there's other people to book over. I don't think the talent's deep enough.
No, but I mean, they've got workers there, ladies there that can work. I mean, I think, and say what you will, but I think someone who is incredibly underutilized is Doudrop. I think she's a real old school sort of heavyweight woman wrestler, but she can work.
You're talking about now, if she was at, even if she was at the NWA, right, or I don't know about, or maybe even at AEW, yeah, but I think that the WWE philosophy with women wrestlers, with the whole diva concept, John Laurinaitis' ideas of what he thinks female wrestlers should be, which are sports models, even Vince McMahon, that they're into. So they've been like this since the 2000s.
Yeah, well, Laurinaitis.
They've never been into women wrestling neither. Like if you look at traditionally with WWE pre '99, right? Firstly, if they had women, what were they there on the cards for? Valets and TNA.
Yeah.
Right? There was never been serious about female wrestling at any point before that. I mean, Medusa maybe was probably the first star of her kind with the WWE. Wendy Richter, they dropped her off in the street when she dropped the belt and said, "See you later." Left her right in the middle of the New York street. So the story goes. I mean, Mauler had that all wrapped up for years.
Yeah.
So if you weren't one of Mauler's girls, you weren't getting anywhere.
No.
WWE's never really supported women wrestling as a WWF entity, and when they did support them, it was more like your Trish Stratus and that, where they started off as being TNA, tits and arts for the company, and then become good wrestlers. They she is a person I have a lot of respect for is Trish Stratus, because when we first watched her, I used to say, this is just another valet, and she turned it around. She's a great wrestler.
Oh, absolutely.
Talented, very talented. But the WWE's never been there for women's wrestling. It's been there for who can we get people to watch instead of going to the toilet in the women's matches? It's all about looks, not about substance. The best women's division, I believe, to this day was the TNA women's division, back when they had beautiful people and Kong, and they had Gail Kim, and the list goes on and on. For me, they were there to wrestle. ODB, they were there to wrestle, but they would have never got a shot with Vince.
No, true. Yeah, ODB. Although, did she come over or not?
I don't think she ever went across the WWE. No.
I don't know why I keep thinking she did, but
not even the beautiful people, which both their names actually now elude me. But for me, as a Hill women's group, they would have been the best Hill women's group I think I can ever remember seeing. You hated them for them.
Yeah. But I think this was just one of those ones where they've put Carmella in because it was probably not going to upset any of the booking, and it was a last minute interchange, and then we'll just do the match at SummerSlam with Rhea Ripley.
It comes down once again to two people that they've brought in, and Bianca Belair, I think she does have some love and passion for the business as a wrestling business. But Carmella was a sports model they brought in. I don't think she had much of a wrestling background before she got into wrestling. WWE. So, there's no passion there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
What did you give it?
What do you reckon, Anthony?
Look, normally I would say that this. It's just something about Bianca Belair. Like she won the SmackDown title at Mania. Everybody was happy, and then they gave her countless tries at the belt. Now she's holding a Raw title. It's just, I'm a bit over her. I'm being honest. I'm a bit over Bianca.
I think it's more that they got nobody else.
Yeah, I understand that, but
whose fault's that? How much talent have they let go?
That's exactly right.
They've let everybody go. Like they're just literally skeleton staff.
Well, you were just talking about Dewdrop before. Yeah. They haven't let her go, but she's sitting.
Yeah, not doing much.
Yeah, because she doesn't fit the demographic that they're looking at.
But surely to goodness, if you got someone like Asuka,
yeah,
why isn't she holding one of the belts?
Well, let's look at how they. Then we're going to get off the line here, but let's look at how they use Asuka. She sounds like a friggin' mumbling simpleton.
Yeah.
And I imagine she's probably a very intelligent person. I imagine, I don't know the girl, but I imagine, like, Jesus Christ, this is the problem with WWE is that they pigeonhole people in a certain position.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's Japanese women out there that are good scientists and intelligent people, not raving lunatics. They don't. I don't think of it. Well, actually, the way she gets portrayed and told to be portrayed, that's quite insensitive to the Japanese people. I think it's. So look, if you look at the way they do things at WWE, they're going to give certain people opportunities and certain people not. Asuka, you turn Asuka heel and put her against Belair, how good of a series of matches that will be.
Yeah, well, I just think that when you got talent, I mean, Bayley's got to come back.
Yeah.
Now, she should definitely be holding one of the belts.
I reckon she'll come back, yeah.
And Rhea Ripley's probably also in that position where she should probably. I mean, if you had Bayley on one side and Ripley on the other, both holding the belts, that's not a bad look necessarily.
That's not a bad look.
And then you got Charlotte, Asuka, Becky Lynch, and all of them sort of challenging.
Yeah, look, even with Lacey Evans.
Yeah, sorry, Lacey.
As well.
See, I don't mind her. I don't mind her at all.
For me, she'd be the champion. You know why?
Yeah.
Because of all the push they gave her, and she's the All-American girl and everything else and that kind of thing, right? She ticks a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
She can actually wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
She's an attractive lady,
mm-hmm.
right? So you people that appreciate women's wrestling are going to appreciate her. The people that are there just to get eye candy are going to appreciate her, right? And she seems to be smart and loves the business.
Yes.
All right. So if you've got those three things going for you, then I think you're in a good chance, a good stead of making a good fist of it all. Like Charlotte's the same. Very wise to the business, attractive young lady, and has been born in the business.
Yes.
Right. So so I think that that for me she'd be holding one of the belts, Lacey Evans. I don't know why she hasn't held the belt yet. I've got no idea, but she'll be definitely in there.
Oh, you'd have to.
Yeah.
What did you give the match out of 10? I gave it a 6, though.
Yeah, 6.
I gave it a 4.
Okay.
Oh, you're a harsh man, Anthony.
Hard taskmaster.
Isn't he?